Hello, welcome back. I'm Lori Williams. I am a psychic medium, energy healer, animal communicator, and spiritual teacher. Today I want to talk to you about embracing change. Change can be scary, and change is scary for a lot of people, typically for one of two reasons. Actually, maybe it could be both too. It's a fear of the unknown. So change brings an unknown. And even though where you are right now, what you're going through right now, may be like the most horrible time of your life, there's a certain level of comfort there because at least you know what you're going through. As horrible as it may be, at least you know what it is. Where, tomorrow might be feared because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So it could be definitely a fear of the unknown, but a lot of the times it actually comes back to a lack of control. When we have the moment, we feel as though we're in control of that moment, where we feel as though, like, right now I'm fully in control of myself. I'm in control of my voice. I'm in control of everything within myself. Now, if something were to change tomorrow, would I still have that control over myself? Having the fear of unknown also lends to that possibility of lack of control. So once you recognize that when you don't embrace change, you're actually putting resistance to it. Anything you don't embrace in your life, you're putting resistance to it. So what happens when you're not embracing something and there's resistance there? Essentially what you're doing is you're making it a lot harder. The truth of it is, like, say for an example, if you're going through a death in a family, grief is a very, very hard thing to go through, obviously. And I'm not trying to make light of it by any means, but it's really good. It's a really good example for where I'm going with this. So as horrible as it is to lose a family member or someone that you love, you can't change it. You absolutely cannot change it. So what can you do? You can put resistance around it and fight the grief and not face it, and you're going to struggle a lot more. Whereas if you were to take some time, really feel into the emotions of grief, process as you're going through it, you're going to get through it. Not necessarily easier. Grief is not easy. I don't care which road you take. Grief is not easy. But it'll seem to flow more. There's more of a flow. And essentially that's what I'm talking about, of why it's so important to embrace change, is because when you're in a state of flow, when you're in a state of just kind of allowing things to unfold the way that they're meant to, because they're going to anyway. Side note, they're going to anyway, whether you want them to or not. Things are not going to change because you're resistant to it. It's whatever's meant to happen is going to happen in your life. So you have two choices. You can either fear the change and put resistance around it and make it seem a lot harder than it needs to be, or you can be accepting of the change and embrace it and be like, you know what, it's going to happen anyway. It is what it is. Might as well just get through it and get into a state of flow, of acceptance, of seeing the good in the change, of seeing, maybe a subtle change is happening in your life. Maybe you have to move. And moving sucks. Let's face it, moving is horrible for anyone. But essentially, you get to maybe experience a different part of the world, maybe like different cultures, meet new people, whatever the case is, there's always something good in it. Change of scenery. Who doesn't want to change of scenery every now and then, right? So ultimately, as much of a pain in the rear end that it could be to have to move and, kind of like leave old friends and leave old routines behind, if you find that you're in a place where you have to and you don't really have a choice in it, it comes down to it that the best thing you can do is to embrace it. The change is going to happen anyway. So when you embrace that change, it becomes a lot easier. Your energy changes around it. Your energy, rather than, oh my God, I don't want to move. I don't want to pack everything. This sucks. This is horrible. My life sucks. Rather than thinking that way, you can think of I'm going to think of all the new people and all the new opportunities. This is a new house, brings new opportunities, new friends, new beginnings. You can even bring your old friends to the new house if you wanted to, if you don't live like hours and hours or different countries or anything. But you can always, kind of intertwine the old life with the new life too, if you're able to do that. So if you can put yourself into a state of excitement, or at the very least, acceptance of the change that's happening, you're going to find it's so much easier. Anytime we put resistance around anything in our life, it becomes more of a struggle. And unfortunately, somewhere along the way in our culture, in our societies, we have taken the struggle and we wear it like a badge of honor. I don't know why, because it's like the worst possible thing you can do for your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, and all the things. And learn to take that struggle and put it into embracing and accepting and allowing the flow to come. Your life will just be so much more easy. Not that it's necessarily like easy as like, oh, I'm just getting through things so much easier. It's easier from the perspective of, you know, having more inner peace, having more understanding, having that higher vibe, so that you're holding on to hope of what could be. You're completely open to all possibilities. It's like, okay, I'm moving, I have to move, I don't have a choice. Okay, universe, like, wow me, surprise me, like, knock my socks off, basically, like, do what you can, like, show me how great this could possibly be. But if you're not in that state, if you're still like grumbling about having to move and resistant to it, the universe can't step in and show you what it's capable of, and showing you how good change could actually be. If you are someone who struggles with change, with accepting change and embracing change, I encourage you to look back over everything in your life and how many changes were for the better versus how many changes were not for the better. And I bet you that you're going to see, if write this down, like, I mean, write it in point form if you need to, but I bet you're going to see that there's far more good things that have come out of change than negative things that have come out of change. That's my homework for you, is to, if you doubt that you can embrace change and that change usually ends up to be good. I mean, change essentially is happening for us because we've outgrown where we are. The universe, the universe's way of moving us forward. So why not accept it? Why not embrace it? It's going to happen anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you back here next time. Until then, take care. Bye for now.